So is it something to say that what we're seeing in the market at the moment is businesses that are adopting an SRM principle because they're acknowledging the achievement of incremental goals? So rather than needing to revolutionize or transform the way they do business by bringing in new suppliers who are vouching for a real fundamental change to the way we do business, what we're seeing a lot of organizations move towards is the understanding that they've built that foundation of SRM with existing suppliers. They don't want to throw out all of those, gained IP and relationships that they've collected along the way with the supplier. So what they're more and more embracing is the ability to incrementally change. And there's a great stat that says about 80% of businesses change structurally in some form once a year. So if we're changing incrementally as an organization, then I think there's logic to speak to the fact that we should be working on incremental change with our suppliers, which probably talks more to SRM principles around developing relationships, sharing knowledge, sharing goals, to take little steps and a whole accumulation of little steps towards transforming the business over a 2 or 3 year period in partnership with the supplier, rather than parachuting in a new supplier that has the ability to fundamentally change the way we do things, but it also has a whole lot more risk that sits around that as well, because we don't know the supplier, we don't know exactly what they can bring to the table, whereas we sort of know who we're working with already. So taking small steps one at a time, once we accumulate those over time, I think that is a really powerful way to approach things. And I think a lot of businesses think of innovation as a big giant leap forward, when in actual fact it's probably idea stacked upon idea stacked upon idea, which really then brings about a whole lot of change for the positive. So I think that talks to SRM principles of partnering with the people we already know, and it ultimately comes at a cheaper cost as well, because we don't have those transition costs and the loss of IP and all those sorts of things whilst we're implementing new suppliers. So I think that's a really powerful message as well.
Agreed. I wholeheartedly believe in the supplier management journey, but we do have organizations coming to us at different points in it, really looking for help, right? So it is about that journey, but it doesn't mean you have to start from the beginning. Some organizations are right at the forefront, right? They're trying to understand where they're at with supplier management. So maybe they go through a benchmark, or, they try to understand what the supply base thinks of them. So they try something with the voice of the supplier, right? One of the survey tools that we're able to help them with. But then we have others that go into technology, right? So they're looking to develop performance mechanisms to measure suppliers, and start to build a repeatable, scalable process around KPIs and performance measurement. And then we have others that are sort of at the tail end, where they have those strategic relationships, but they're looking to grow additional value. And so, they're working with suppliers on value acceleration. So, taking part in things like a 360, where you start to measure trust and control on a 1-to-1 ratio. And then that leads into value generation and, ROI on the program. So yeah, incremental changes. We're seeing clients come in at all different parts of the journey, and we love it, because it's all steps towards change and, positive change for suppliers and for organizations, and it's reciprocal.
Yeah, and I love the analogy of the journey, because again, I think a lot of businesses who might be new to supplier relationship management, again, think it's a foundational, fundamental change to the business, when in actual fact, we are all inherently already doing some form of supplier relationship management. It's just how formalized, how well documented it is. So your point about different organizations coming in at different parts of that journey, I think, is a really powerful one to speak to, because again, it's not redesigning exactly what we do as a business. It's more just refining, formalizing the way we engage with suppliers, which includes that collaboration you spoke of earlier. The alignment, I think, is a really undervalued one as well, where we need to bring the supplier along with our organizational objectives. I think very rarely do organizations share with their suppliers, their vision for 2, 3, 4 years' time. That's probably harder to do now in the current environment anyway, but I think it's probably means that there's more importance to at least share where we think we're going with our suppliers as well. So that journey, the way we describe it as a journey, I think is a really important one, because we can and we do see businesses come to us at different parts of that journey, and being able to assist those businesses with the range of products that we have, I think is really important, because it is, again, not just a fundamental way to change business. It's building on what we're already doing with our suppliers. And as I said, all businesses are already engaging with their suppliers to some extent. We just collectively want to advocate for formalising that and designing something that really talks to the goals that we're looking to hit, both for us as an organisation and the suppliers that we're dealing with.